Ooh, welcome, ghoulish gamers. Today we got some new Overwatch action, and as you can see, we are here in Hollywood celebrating the up-and-coming holiday Halloween. Wow, that's a lot of
That was great.
H's, yeah.
I like
Um,
what you did there.
yeah, but we are currently in costume celebrating, and we will be doing such for the. Yeah, I'm a priest, if you couldn't tell. But we are going to be celebrating Halloween for the rest of the week on stream, and we hope that you are celebrating wherever you are, whether it's at home or at your own computer. But yeah, so we got some. We got some great Overwatch action coming to you today. So, do you want to talk about it?
Absolutely. I do want to talk about it. Also, I see production. I see what you did with the font there. It's very fancy. Love that. Today, it is week 5, which is a shame because this is the first match we're going to see from Overwatch Blue, which is our varsity level Overwatch team. We missed the first few weeks because we were doing things like getting an education and making a living. But I'm here now, and I'm excited to play some or watch some Meow Overwatch. Yeah. Today is going to be Overwatch Blue versus Florida Southern College. UNC Blue currently sitting in the middle of the pack of our conference, which is the East 5 Conference, with a 3-1 win-loss record. Actually, last week was not only our first loss, but also our first dropped map
Okay.
against Old Dominion University. So
But I did hear that was a close game, right? That
it was 3-1.
Yeah.
It was close, and the thing is, it's always close when we play ODU.
Yeah.
We've played. This is the third season in a row we've gone up against ODU. I believe they've beat us twice, and we've beat them once. So it's kind of a back and forth.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they got the better of us this time, which means that it's going to be a little harder for us to get into the playoffs. As usual in NACE Star League, we're aiming for the top 3 position in order to get onto the play-ins. It's a tall order, but I feel like our team gets better every year. So
I agree.
absolutely. So we'll see what they can do today. And Florida Southern College, it seems like they should be an easier match than Old Dominion was, just based on their win record, which is 1-3. But they have had a really tough strength of schedule. So I think we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's going to definitely be a nail biter, I think, and we'll get
Ooh,
to
scary.
yeah, we'll get to see some amazing Overwatch action from both teams. Is there anyone in particular that you're looking out for performance-wise on either team?
Well, I wish I could shout out Florida Southern College, but I don't know anything about them. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Our team, however, we have a lot of returning players, including Master Swood. Shout out to him. This is his 3rd year playing on the Overwatch varsity team. Technically, I've been part of this community for 5 years, but today we'll let Swood have the spotlight. Returning, of course, as the main support. Unfortunately, the only rookie this semester, who is Riot, he won't be here today, which means it is an all-returning cast, including Mist as our solo tank. So this will be exciting. Last time we saw Mist, it was, of course, as an off tank with our star main tank, Don Josue. He is now graduated, and Mist is now our solo tank, because in Overwatch 2, there only is one tank. But I'm expecting great things from him, regardless.
Me too. And obviously, we also have SnapHemp and Minchai, both returning from last year.
Yeah.
Minchai from the varsity team, and SnapHemp, who was on that JV varsity
Yeah, he
or
got a
that
promotion.
JV team. Yeah, so
Absolutely. Good for
definitely a
him.
step up for him. Hopefully, been grinding out some ranked games. But we are going into our first map here, which is going to be Lijiang Tower.
Lijiang Tower, yes. The classic, last season, Henry, I feel like every single match started with Lijiang Tower. It's looking like it's going to be the same this time because this is the second match I've gotten to catch, and both of them have started on Lijiang. I don't know what it is. Collegiate players just love this match. Love this map, that is.
Yeah, and obviously starting off in the control point map, you don't have as many options, right? And we are going to see a quick pause.
Actually, I think Control has the most options out of any game mode. There's 5 whole options. You wouldn't think it, just given... Oh, are we switching back? What's this? Okay, we went to a different point. We're now on Control Tower.
Maybe they had the settings wrong or something,
Maybe.
but we
You know
are going
what's
to
sad
be...
about this, Henry? We were just about to see Lecton Swood roll out on the Farmercy combo. old UNC classic. Enemy team never sees it coming. You don't want to play Mercy, Farm Mercy on this map because it's all indoors. I might be looking at more of a Genji from Lek. No, they're electing to stick on the Pharah. No? Okay. Okay, we're having a little bit of back and forth. We'll see.
Yeah, so obviously we are going to have to wait till they roll out to see what they're going to go with. And look, we're going to see a Kiriko come out from Florida Simon College.
Exciting.
Kiriko is interesting because very good in certain situations, but obviously a very high skill cap, especially since it's a new hero and everyone's still trying to figure out how to play her.
It's so easy to just do nothing on her because you're whiffing all your shots. But we will see if Ariel is up to the challenge. Meanwhile, we have both teams rolling out on the Zarya, who is kind of busted right now, so no wonder. Mist, I know, has been working on his Zarya, so I expect him to be doing very well on that as well. The brawl has broken out here on the point. We have rival Sojourns trying to build up that energy to try to get maybe that one-shot headshot to open up the fight. It's like to goes quite low, though, and that is going to be the first pick. However, it looks like Jofus is getting quite low on that tank for Florida Southern. They do manage to keep them up, and it's actually Mist who's going to be the first to fall. With 2 players down, it's not looking good for UNC. It's just going to be a little bit of a cleanup here as Florida takes the first control.
Yeah, Florida is going to cap the first point and now going to hold this chokehold. Zarya with a high charge, 100% or almost reaching that 100%. It's going to be really hard for UNC to push through this chokehold. SnapHap's just going to try and walk through.
That happened.
But, maybe a little bit of a internet problem. It looks like he is going to DC, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh, he got eliminated so hard that he left the match.
UNC internet is not looking too hot right now.
That's okay, because I do want to point out that Lect has switched from the Junkrat. Junkrat kind of being a classic pick on this map because it's so close quarters. Kind of the best Junkrat map there is in Overwatch. But Junkrat right now, not a very strong character. You know who is strong? Genji.
Yes,
he has been strong
strong
since Overwatch 2 came out. Remains strong. And we have the Genji Sojourn Mirror coming out now. Now, I don't know how much of Lect you've seen before, but this man is a beast on almost every hero he plays. But those projectile heroes like Pharah and Genji, I think that's really where you can see him shine. It is worth noting that neither team is running an Ana, so the devastating Dragon Blade, which is typically what you want to be working towards when you play Genji, it's going to have to be a dry blade.
Yeah, no nano blade.
Yeah, a real test of muster. And especially with Zarya's bubbles being so oppressive. A well-timed bubble can shut down a Dragon Blade just like that.
Yeah, especially because a lot of what a lot of the utility coming out of Dragon Blade is the refresh of the dash. You get so much mobility from that as you take out some of the squishier heroes on the other team. If the Zarya is able to save that first initial target, then it makes Genji's life really difficult trying to string those kills together. So obviously we are going to have to watch out for those bubbles as we get later on into the game.
And don't forget about Protection Suzu either. The brief invulnerability from Kiriko could hypothetically stuff a push. It'll be a bit hard because it has a very short duration.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's perfectly timed, you could save a teammate from a Genji Blade, I think.
I don't know if you've seen it or not, but on a couple of the Reddits and Twitter posts, I've seen a couple Kirikos save like a 6-man, or a 5-man, sorry, not 6-man because we've switched from that, but a 5-man tire from a Junkrat or some pretty big ultimates. So obviously it is a really impactful hero in some of those situations. And we'll have to see if that comes into play as an impactful hero in this game as well. We are still waiting for SnapHap to reconnect, unfortunately. But after what we're seeing here, it's going to be a difficult push from UNC to try and initiate here. Even just looking at the ult economy, FSC is leading in ult charge. It doesn't help that SnapHap is most likely going to get reset back to 0 when he loads back in on that Baptiste.
Yeah, that tends to happen when you lose the first fight. It can snowball just due to the ult charge difference. You know, Henry, while we have some downtime, let's talk about the rest of the conference. This is a conference of, I think, 8 teams. That's how NACE Star League is set up, which means that to move into playoffs, you have to beat the teams from your region first, and then the best team from each region moves on, and the second and third best team from each region goes to play-ins, and then the top players from the play-ins also get to go to the playoffs. Now, as I was saying earlier, UNC Blue, they're going to have a tough time of it, because if they had beaten ODU, that would have set them up for a nice third place currently.
Yeah.
Now that they have lost to ODU, they're currently sitting in 4th, I believe.
Though it is looking like at least a two-way tie for first. Both Lords and Kennesaw State are both 4-0 currently. So, if we win here and then Lords or Kennesaw lose, then it could set us up for a nice.
That's a very big if.
Yeah,
But
well,
if
they are eventually going to have to play each other. So
That's true.
one team will eventually have to lose, right? So in that case, we may get set up for a three-way tie for second in that case, all of us being 4-1. That is riding, though, on the back that UNC Blue does win today. So have to get over that hurdle first, and then we got to cross our fingers that someone loses and sets us up for that three-way tie. And obviously, we have a couple more games left in the season, so a couple more games to kind of situate out into our place. But obviously, we do need to clinch out those wins to set us up for success in the future.
I think if I had to predict right now, I feel like Kennesaw is going to remain in first. And you know why? It's because Kennesaw was in our conference last year as well. And not only did they go undefeated the whole season, they also 3-0'd every game in the season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the regular season. Actually, it's weird. They went to play-in. They went to the play-ins, and then they actually lost a map or maybe a game. But up until then, they played every other team in the conference and trounced all of them.
And 3-0.
So I unless all of their good players have graduated, which seems unlikely. They might be back in full force again. And Lords, again, also undefeated, also haven't dropped a map. So it'll be a tough task, but it always is, getting into play-ins.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough, but I believe in our UNC squad. They're looking from the game that, or not from the game that we casted, because we casted Overwatch White, but from what I've heard, they're looking very dominant and looking, and not only looking very dominant, but also feeling very dominant. They feel very confident in their abilities
That's good.
to
That's
play.
so important.
And so even the ODU game that they lost, I know that I saw them talking about it in the Discord, and they were seeming very confident, felt confident that they were pretty close in that game. And so the mental part is half the battle. And
it
so
really is. I mean, I've seen
Ryan-
teams fall apart just because the team cohesion wasn't there.
Yeah.
There was a toxic environment. No one performs well under those circumstances. But I feel like we've cultivated a very good team mentality at UNC. So it's good to see that continuing on.
Yeah, so we are going to go to a quick break while we try and fix the internet connectivity problems, try and get everyone reconnected real quick. But we will be right back with the game as soon as we're back and everyone's back and everything's situated. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Hello.
So it looked like we finally got everything figured out right in the nick of time, right at 15 minutes, which is when they'd have to, unfortunately, play a man down UNC. But again, we are back to this chokehold. And as FSC is racking up the percent, they're going to have to defend this chokehold, which is going to be looking pretty easy as they are going to pick up 4 ults right now. UNC with 0. And here comes the grab.
The grab. Oh my gosh, what just happened there? Both tanks are down. Zuko takes out the Eiffel, but that's about it. We're getting a nice view of the floor right now. But we'll see what's going on in a second. Both teams continue to fight 4v4, but UNC should have an advantage because their spawn is right behind them. And Florida can no longer hold the choke with those oppressive bubbles from Zarya. So here's that opening they were looking for. They just have to hope that this one ult they have, the grab from Mist, comes up pretty huge. Here it is. I hear it coming out. It's countered by Revi. Wefts the beat. It's very well timed. No damage going off into Florida. And UNC is left without any more resources. It looks like Florida is content to play slowly for now, trying to build up some more of the energy. Here is the blade coming out from T-Bucks. Dashes in. Immediately goes down to a rail shot from Minshai. It's a 3v3 now on point, Henry. It could be anyone's game. Oh, Lex uses the blade too. No value from that whatsoever.
But it does look like UNC at the last second is going to reclaim the point. 95% being picked up by FSC. It's going to be a really tough game for UNC now. They have to pretty much stay on this point.
Yeah, the whole
like
time.
their lives depend on it.
That was a rough fight, Henry. So many ults that did absolutely nothing. It was just a couple of, I think, a battle of attrition there that finally won UNC the point. But Florida has wrapped around now. They're in a very good position. They're walking right into Minshai's ult, but a nice protection. Suzu will make sure no one dies. Both supports getting quite low, and Ravi gets taken down by Lekt. Minshai finally finds that rail shot onto his opposing Sojourn, and that's another fight, I think, cleaned up. That was so much better.
Really well executed by UNC. I think they used the railgun on ultimate on Minshai. What's it called? Is that its name?
It's called Overclock.
Overclock.
And it allows you to shoot your railgun many times.
Yeah, so that being the only ultimate being used during that fight.
Oh, Kitsune Rush. It's countered by the window from SnapApp, doubling the damage coming from UNC. So it looks like they're kind of in a stalemate for now. What is this? A stray bullet from Master Sword strikes Zuko and takes him down. Meanwhile, Florida is still in it with a chance, but they're getting quite low, and their Zarya doesn't have as much charge as Mist does. A second grab comes out. That is curtains for Florida. It's looking pretty good for UNC now, not going to lie.
UNC just needs to clean up this fight, finally gets the last support on the side of FSC, and it's looking like UNC is going to make the comeback. They are going to have the beat, but so is FSC, and they're going to have the grab, as well as Overclock on their Sojourn.
This beat from Master Sword has got to be huge. Here it is. We have the grab countered by the beat, just as we expect, but is it going to be enough? Okay, everyone's dumping their ultimates into the fight now. We'll have to see who comes out on top. Lekt is trying to use that blade. Does manage to get one kill to Zuko. Once again, the first. What just happened? Oh my gosh! Henry, we went right off the point, and Florida Southern College just gave it up.
Yeah, so trying to dive and maybe save their Sojourn on that high ground from the blade.
How did every single one of them get off the point?
I think they were just playing to get those picks right there, try and turn the fight. Obviously, we saw Lekt pick up the one on Sojourn, and so it was a 4v5.
That's gotta hurt.
Trying to swing it back in their favor. They just forgot about the percentage, and last minute, they had the 95%, but
it happens all the time.
UNC just able to make a comeback. And now we're going to see this Lekt on far, as well as Master Swoot on the Mercies. So
awesome. A return to form for UNC's team. We've seen this comp many times before, except this time with only one tank. Of course, FFC choosing to go for the Winston right now. Not a bad choice right now, at least. Winston's pretty good. I do think Diva's still a little bit better, but with good bubble placement, Jofus could do a lot of work here.
We were able to talk to Mist last time, as he was casting with me.
Nice.
And he definitely agrees that Diva is a direct counter to Monkey, so gonna have to see here if he is able to counter that Monkey in this team fight, as it is looking like a UNC pretty dominant take on this first point. as a nice shot from Minshai is going to clean up Reeve, and it's going to be UNC to first claim the point.
Yeah, look at FFC immediately changing 2 of their heroes. They were playing Winston and Symmetra against the Pharmercy. You don't want to see that. They honestly were not able to do much, and UNC was just able to rain down damage from all sides. So FFC realized what was wrong. They fixed it. They're coming out with the Ashe now. This should be a good counter to Lect, but only if he can hit his shots. So we'll have to see on that. Now on a more even matchup, it looks like Florida is rotating through White Room, trying to prevent more splash damage from Lect. By the way, look at Lect already has his ult leagues before anyone else does, which is just how much damage he's been doing.
The Master's Swoop
oh no! What happened to Reeve? I wish we could get a replay on that or something, but I don't even think we get replays. But Reeve apparently falls off the map, and the rest of her team falls shortly after.
Yeah, really good, clean execution by UNC, cleaning up after that unfortunate demise
It
by
might have just been a boot from Black.
I think so,
Yeah.
and then trying to wall ride, doesn't quite get it, eventually falls. I think at that point it doesn't count as a boop, it's more of like a suicide kind of fall off the map kind of thing.
Could be. Now, check this out, Henry. UNC 5 ultimates. Florida just got their first one. That's kind of how dominant the Pharmercy has been. Oh, look at this.
We're going to
He's going in,
see
he's going in.
it. Oh, my goodness. Lect is able to pick up 3. What an ultimate that was. And is going to go for more. Going to try and find the D.Va. Finds the Genji. And D.Va is going to get demeched and finally fall down as well. What an ultimate that was by Lect.
That was beautiful. I mean, you saw how he hit himself going over the roof. I mean, Reeve threw out that immortality field, but it was just a second too late, and that's what happens when you're not prepared for that ult. Okay, it looks like Florida is able to touch. They have the Genji there on the point, who should trigger overtime, but unfortunately, UNC has more than enough ults to spare. Just pops 4 of them at once, because why not? It's the end of the match, and it should, not the end of the match, the end of the game, the end of the map. And somehow Florida manages to stall for a few more seconds, but that Tracer is going to be the last one to fall. And it's a little bit rocky start for UNC, but they managed to clean that up pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely a rocky start with not only losing the first capture, the first point, but then also losing Snap App there in the first couple of minutes. They are going to eventually be able to bring it back. First map pretty close situation, but able to bring it back. And then obviously the second point, we're able to clinch it out and win the map overall. Very good performance overall from UNC.
Quite happy with that. Also, nice little showcase of Mist's aim at the end there. You know my boy's been working on that. Next will be Hybrid. Hybrid, unlike Control, only has 3 options: Icon Ball, King's Row, and Paraíso, which is the new map. Takes place in Rio de Janeiro. I would love to see that. I haven't seen it in NACE Star League yet, but again, it's based on it's going to be King's Row. Okay, well, this is looking like every other NACE Star League match.
I agree.
In the past couple of years. We go straight from Lijiang to King's Row. Maybe the 2 most beloved maps in this league. And honestly, I don't blame them. If you're Florida and you're down a point right now, maybe you don't want to take risks. You want to go with what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I agree. Though UNC as well is also going to be comfortable on this map.
That's the trade-off.
Scrim's Row, as it's often called, it's going to be a comfort for both teams overall.
Absolutely. And you know what? One thing that Florida might not have taken into account is that this is still a pretty good map for Pharah? No? Maybe we're going to get Hanzo instead? Okay, yeah, I see that. It's like kind of a mid map for Pharah. And given that Pharah's kind of not great right now, I mean, Pharah's never been amazing. But especially right now with, I think with Sojourn being good, a lot of hit scans being good, and especially Sombra being good, Pharah doesn't really fit in very well. So I like this Hanzo pick. I like Minshai sticking on the Sojourn because he's definitely been doing work on her so far. Interested to see what Florida's strategy is here.
Yeah, and it's looking like their strategy is going to be a Widow, obviously, with the very good sights. But also, look who has made a timely return.
Bastion just got re-enabled today in competitive play, so he is eligible for play in NACE.
Yeah,
and I'm not seeing a switch, so maybe we are seeing a Bastion coming out. This is actually very exciting. I've always wanted to see Bastion played, the new Bastion played competitively, and I guess we're about to see that right now. There it is. Mist wisely ducks around the corner to avoid that onslaught of damage from Zuko. But unfortunately, it is Lect who goes down first. Jofus pushes very far in. Unfortunately, loses his life for it. Maybe a little bit too aggressive there. It's a 4v4, but it's going to favor UNC because they still have their tank. And I think FSC is going to have to back up and lick their wounds, try again another day.
Yeah, so the Genji falling there as well made it difficult to engage. And it's kind of hard, you know, it makes it hard for this Bastion to go in when they're trying to dive in, right? Because the turret mode slows you down a little bit, so it's a little bit harder. But we are going to see them re-engage here.
And
they're
nice
going to
protection, Suzu there. Almost saved 2 lives there, I think, from Aerial. Keeps all 5 of their teammates alive. Actually, 1 goes down. Bastion, unfortunately, a very big target. Making it a 4v4 here on the point. Once again, Mist at 100% damage. That is kind of the downside of playing Bastion, is you feed a lot of damage into the Zarya. T-Bucks gets very low, but gets out with his life. Oh no, Mist gets the ult just in time to use it, but unable to stand on the point, and Florida just gets the point.
Yeah, really
Just
good
like
move for Revi. Allows FSC to cap the point, and Mist isn't able to get a touch. We are going to see a couple ultimates here ready for both teams, and we're going to have to see who's able to utilize them better.
Nano comes out, that's just huge. Okay, yeah, Jofus stands no chance, immediately lasered down. Lect follows up with 2 more nice kills. Just doing Lect things, and that was a very clean teamfight win. Off of just 1 Nano.
Yeah, it was just 1 Nano, so UNC is going to still have the rest of their 4 ults for this next team fight. Though FSU is going to be working towards their own 4 as well quickly.
Now, we do have both beats ready, along with both grabs, so it's going to be a kind of rock, paper, scissors here. It's going to be UNC Esports who throws out the first grab. It's actually a grab Dragons, but the beat is good, and the timing of the Dragons slightly off. Only T-Bucks gets killed from that one. Not exactly what you want from possibly the most powerful combo in the game. Regardless, UNC are pushing their advantage, pushing a little bit more, managed to get Revi as well, and I think that worked out in their favor. It was a little bit rocky, but they won the team fight. That's what matters.
Oh, a really nice headshot from Lect, and he's just finding the picks right here to stop FSC in their tracks. And though FSC was able to manage to cap the point, they haven't been able to push the payload past this choke point. It's going to be really hard. They're going to see FSC trying to push this high ground.
Very smart. Throws in the grab as well, and the blade. Hello, Masterswood throws in the beat, but is it going to be enough to handle all the damage going in? Not quite. Lect goes down to a stray shot from Aerial. Revi, actually both supports getting a kill there. Mist trades back, and a nice Nano almost nets a second kill for UNC Esports, but for now they're still on the back foot, having to back up. Mist not able to get in range to use that 100 damage.
I would like to know that both all the supports on both teams are doing a superb job. Both
Absolutely.
Mist and Jofus. Jofus are taking a lot of harassment damage, but they're able to stay in these fights because of how much healing they're receiving from all their supports. Doing a really good job. We are going to see a Nano come out from Snap Path onto Mist, but
we're having a little bit of a little death match here on top of the building. Actually, no. Florida decides they want none of that. They are going to noob out of there. Probably not going to get back to spawn safely. Looking at how, yeah, UNC's chasing pretty hard. They don't want to let those 2 stragglers go. You know what? Once again, a team fight won solely off of Snap Tap Nano.
Yeah, it's really good because Mist is just able to run in with 2 charges of bubble and beam down people with the extreme damage. Not only that, but then a lot of the times we're seeing Mist with that 100 charge. So that 100 charge plus Nano, it's an insane amount of damage. And we're going to see a grab dragging again.
It's actually the Zuko who picks up the first kill with an overclock. Once again, only 1 kill coming out of that grab. Granted, it is an important kill. Jofus no longer there to lay down the damage, but I think this could still be anyone's fight. And now UNC is out of ults. They were doing really good on the ult rotation, but they kind of needed that combo to be huge. Now Florida's coming in with both support ults. Kitsune Rush could be huge for them if they manage to put it down the corridor right onto the second point. Let's see how they approach this fight. They've given UNC enough time to regroup. It's going to be a full 5v5 fight here. Actually, Suzu comes out early, but they still have the beat. Lect finds the first kill. A nice headshot to T-Bucks is going to be an instant kill onto that Genji. Minchai also throwing in some railgun shots. Not quite able to find him, but I think that one kill. Nope, Zuko. Actually, that's 2 kills from Lect already this fight. This man is on a roll.
UNC is going to charge in, trying to pick up these stragglers and delay a little bit longer the push. Lect drops low, but
Jofus got...
Oh,
what? Hold on!
Oh,
Jofus uses the ult! Master Swin! A little bit of a disrespectful move there, using the ult to get rid of the frog who was trying to chase down Jofus. Not sure if it was exactly the best move, but Florida is coming in with 2 more ults. Let's see if they can make anything of it. No! Minchai shuts them down immediately. Both DPS of UNC are here to play today. They don't care that they're missing Riot. They're still bringing their all. Yeah, the announcer told us it's 30 seconds left, and Florida has to make something happen real soon. Jofus getting staggered here isn't going to be good for them. Pretty sure he's about to die. Yep. Not looking good. They have been holding on to those support ults for quite a long time, but they're going to be useless if they can't touch the point.
Yeah, and it looks like they might be able to get a touch T-Bucks.
I see a sneaky Genji.
Yeah, he is going to be able to touch, but is the rest of the team going to be there? We are going to see the ball get back, and both support ults are going to come out right now. Reevy's going to pick up one on Snap Half, but T-Bucks is obviously already down.
Oh, Miss getting the old turnaround. Chases Kiriko, she teleports away, isn't able to do anything, but he builds up the grab at the perfect time. Staples Florida to the payload. That's where they want it to be, but maybe not quite so close. He's about to take down Ariel, and there's just 1 more contestant left. Actually 2, but UNC definitely seems to have the advantage right now. Florida having quite a long walk to go all the way back. Minchai actually falling quite low. He needs a little bit of healing, I think, but no one's there to take him down, so it's really just a miss show on the point right now. Now that Tricky is quite sneaky, but she finally goes down to a well-placed right click from Lek. Snaphap also picking up a nice support kill. And is it finally going to be the end of the map? I think so. UNC manages to find the cleanup onto Florida.
Really well executed defense there by UNC. And Miss staying on the point was really what held them there. It looked like maybe it could be turned around when it was a 2v1 situation in the favor of FSC. But Miss holding on and using those bubbles to mitigate some damage is going to be what secures them. Not the first map or the second map, but they only have to push it to the second checkpoint. So
that's right.
Looking pretty good for UNC right now. They are able to hold on defense, but we're going to have to see if FSC can do at least that, if not better, on their defense, as we are going to see the team comps right about now. A couple people still choosing what they want to run.
It is interesting to me that Florida ran Bastion on attack.
Yeah.
But that they might not run it on defense. You know, Bastion typically like the most defensive of all heroes. You know, historically he couldn't even move, so you don't really want to be pushing forward with him. But yeah, I guess they decided that the Bastion was a failed experiment. They're going back to something a little more standard. Sombra, did Sombra get nerfed? I haven't read the patch.
I think so.
Notes.
I think Sombra did get nerfed in the most recent patch.
Which came out like today.
Yeah.
So no one quite knows yet whether Sombra's still good, but she used to be very, very good. So
very, very good.
We'll see. And look at it, Lex rolling out on the pharmacy once more. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Hen.
Yeah, so we are going to have to see if this comes into play with some good damage coming here out in the start. But there is going to be a Hanzo on the other side of FSC. See if they can kill this Lek before getting healed up. But it is going to be 2 picks in favor of UNC coming out in the start. And it's looking like they're pretty dominant coming out in this first charge. They are going to find the next 3, and it's going to be a clean team wipe for the UNC as they take this first point.
Yeah, no kidding. Loving this Mercy perspective, by the way. The new movement changes, I don't agree with... Oh, no, Ariel, you can't be caught out like that. You should know that Lek can show up at any moment. Unfortunately, he can also die at any moment if he gets hacked, which he did. But that's okay. UNC still gets the first point. It was a little bit of an aggressive push, but it still works out in their favor. Hello, I see Jofa's rolling out on the Roadhog. Kind of a good counter to Mist because, you know, Monkey, he's very large hitbox. You can chunk him down with that shotgun. Typically not seen as a competitively viable tank, so let's see what they do with it.
It might also be considered a counter to Pharah, try and get those
Well, that would be impressive.
pucks out. But we are going to see ult by Lek. I'm going to find one on Reeve, and Minshai is going to find one as well onto Jofus, but it's going to be FSC trying to retreat as UNC pushes the payload ever so closer to the next checkpoint. They are playing relatively far up and close into FSC's face, sticking SnapHap on the payload just to push it.
Yeah, poor SnapHap. Relegated on King's Row. There's only one person who has to be on payload duty. Oh no! What a direct hit onto Zuko, and the res is denied with a well-placed concussive blast. That's as good as 2 kills from Lek. And honestly, Florida, they have nothing in their tool belt right now, and they need to win a fight immediately, or they're going to drop King's Row. Miss jumps in, gets left. That's something at least, but he's still doing damage. Takes out Reeve. Minshai popping the ult. They have way more than they need to spare. That's a nice headshot though on the T-Bucks. And yep, Florida is nowhere near the point when they finally lose the round.
Really good aggression there from UNC. They had a good hold. FSC was able to push it a decent amount. They were obviously able to take that first point and push it almost to that second checkpoint, but just a dominant, not only holding from UNC, but then a dominant attack as well. Really nice headshots from Lek.
I feel bad for Florida. I feel like there's been so many good headshots from UNC's DPS, so every time I look in the kill feed, it's one of the Florida supports with a little red icon next to them.
Yeah, really, honestly, a good performance from both teams. FSC obviously down 2 maps now, but I think they've really been showing a good performance, really strong. They've been managing their ults good and really giving UNC a tough time, I'd like to say, but obviously UNC getting some very crucial picks in some of these team fights, leading them to dominate in these team fights and
the
push
picks are
back
huge.
FSC.
Absolutely, especially when you have liked getting the picks on the Pharah. I have noticed a pattern, Henry. Every round that like played Pharah, it was a shutout, and every other round, FSC put up a good fight. So
related, correlated,
draw your own conclusions there. But I think FSC, they've had 2 maps to think about their opponent, to learn about how they play, and now it's their choice on Escort. I'm seeing Dorado right now. Yep.
Oh, we are going.
That's where we're going. Honestly, Light could still play Pharah here.
Yeah, definitely could see it. Even on attack or defense, I think it's a viable option. But so are some of those hit scan heroes as well. McCree, Sojourn, Soldier, even a Hanzo or Widow. Ooh. And we're going to get a treat from the past here. Not a trick, but a treat from the past. And Minshai is looking like he's going to be playing that Widow that we've seen in the past before. Last year, we definitely saw him playing a lot of the sniper heroes a lot more. I don't think we've seen it a lot recently as he's been on those DPS heroes, Sojourn, a lot of the times. So,
yeah, Widow, I mean, he's usually a pocket pick for just a handful of maps. You know, what's it called? Havana comes to mind. But, I mean, Widow can work here. There's a lot of good sight lines. Speaking of which, T-Bucks definitely didn't see that one coming. Neither did Reeve, apparently. Oh my god.
Oh, what a nice sight line.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. She's like standing on a box. No, she's standing on the little ledge there. Has a nice view of the spawn door. Thank you, Observer. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I think this is not like and a nice shot coming by T-Bucks. Minshai just overstaying his welcome a little too long, doesn't really move. But it's going to be Lek that gets the trade kill onto T-Bucks. And UNC is still holding this point.
I love this attitude for T-Bucks saying, hey, two can play this game. If you have a sideline on us, that means we have a sideline on you. Unfortunately, it is this kind of unbalanced tank matchup once again, and Jofus goes down very low. Oh no, what's this? A spawn cap coming out from Zuko, wanting to make sure Minchai doesn't pop off, and again, but no, Master Sweat is here to the rescue. Unsuccessful spawn camp, and Zuko has to teleport out. I do like T-Buck staying on the Widow. Let's see if he can go toe-to-toe with Minchai, who is, like, I think, like, Grandmaster DPS, so it's going to be a tall task, but he does manage to take down Lex, so that's a good start.
Yeah, really good start, but Minchai did get Zuko, but T-Bucks is getting these picks onto the cores, but Master Swoot is going to be able to get the res off into Minchai, and SnapHap's going to get
Oh! I think the Nano missed! It goes onto Minchai, possibly the worst hero to Nano. He does kill off to Jofa, so...
Yeah, so maybe it was worth it in the end. They are able to hold this on UNC. And again, it's only going to cost them a Nano. They are going to have the 4 ults for this next team fight, while FSC is only going to have 3, looks like.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's not like SnapHap really needed that ult. You know what I mean? They have 4 more coming out. We have both Infrasites coming out from the Widows. I do have to commend T-Bucks. Technically speaking, he is 2-0 in terms of the Widow duel. Unfortunately, the rest of his team isn't following up with that to get the kill. Kitsune Rush could make it a different story, though. Ariel has been playing Kiriko for a while, but we haven't been able to see much of the Kiriko's ult yet. It goes out, and I do see UNC Esports going quite low, even with Lex providing a second tank, giving us a taste of the glory days. It is going to be Minchai and Lex finding the first kills, followed up by yet another headshot from Minchai. Yeah, I mean, T-Bucks is winning the Widow duels.
Not the spawn cam. Chasing them all the way back to their spawn. Lex couldn't finish up those last 2 kills. And FSC is able to push the cart, but it's not, they're not getting into this last objective. UNC is holding on. Though there is going to be a slight ult advantage in this on the side of FSC.
Yeah, EMP could be huge, unless it's been nerfed. Actually, it comes out right now. Hits 4 of UNC Esports, and Lek immediately focused down. That's a huge pick. It took an EMP to do it, but that's an opening. I mean, Lek got 3 kills the previous fight, so that's a valuable pick. A tempo beat from Reeve takes him into the fight. T-Bucks, 3 for 0. Hat trick on the Minchai, even though he does get rezzed up right afterwards by Master Swood. It looks like Florida has finally found that advantage. Even Reeve pitching in with a kill onto Master Swood. Mist throws out that bomb to no avail. It looks like Florida's gonna push that last few meters. Actually, Left decides to take a stand on the point. Mist also back on point. Hello. UNC Esports is trying to take it back, but they are severely down numbers right now, so it'll be a miracle if it happens.
We do have the 2 supports as well as the tank here. Master Swood is going to get the res off onto Minchai, which is really huge. Minchai getting that pick onto T-Bucks, able to find his counterpart on the Widow. And it's looking like UNC is going to be able to hold here as FSC is going to be able to touch. They are going to get the touch, draw it into overtime, but are they going to be able to get the picks to turn the team fight?
Not looking great. Jofus is out of Meg. Ariel's down. There's not a lot of healing left for Florida, and they have quite a ways to go to get back to point. Infrastride isn't going to help matters either. We need some picks right now from Florida, but it's not happening. It's all the Mist show right now, and he even has a bomb to show for his efforts. Tosses that one in, and that is the end of the round.
Yeah, really solid and dominant performance from UNC on that defense. And we're going to see it not even touch the first checkpoint. And that's pretty much all UNC has to do is push it to that first objective or checkpoint. And they're going to win this match and also win the series 3-0. So
what a heartbreaking round for Florida, though. They really looked like they had won that fight.
Yeah, it looked dominant, but then the 2 supports were able, and Mist on the Diva, were able to touch the point at the last second. Master Swoop got that res off onto Minchai, and from there they were able to turn the fight around, pretty much clean it up until FSC was just trickling in there at the last second.
And that's why you play Mercy. Sorry, Sweat. I know you don't want to play Mercy, but at least you got cool new movement tech.
Yeah, maybe we'll see the Lucio pick come out here. Mr. Swoot hasn't picked a hero.
Team comp, I kind of doubt it, because no one really needs to be sped around here. Right, like Minchai wants to keep his distance. Lek can fly.
Yeah.
You know, Mist can also fly. So, I do think Mercy is the right pick here.
Yeah, especially with Lekt on the
like maybe
Echo.
Brig, if Brig was better right now, but Mercy's fine. Mercy's good, especially when you have Minchai and Lect. You know,
Yeah.
when you have DPS players like that, you want to, you know, put more eggs in the basket, so to speak. That's usually a bad thing, but in this case, it's working out for them.
Lect is able to get the first pick on the T-Bucks. That's going to be really unfortunate. FSC doesn't have that Mercy to get that initial res off. And it's just going to be UNC pushing and playing very aggressive. RA taking a lot of space. And
every
doing a lot
time
of
is
damage.
able to weave those sticky bombs in through the defense matrix of Jofus, and it's making so that Jofus can't contest cart very well. Keeps having to go back for healing. They're finally at the first choke. This is where Florida can take their stand, especially since T-Bucks is back after being picked originally. So, not too bad, that first pick. But, oh no, once again, the sticky bombs are on point. T-Bucks has, like, 1 second to say his prayers before he dies. That's funny, because you're a priest. And it looks like Lect is going for the 2K, finally managed to find Zuko. Florida is left without any damage heroes. Honestly, if I'm them, I think they need to regroup right now because they do not have a lot of leeway, and they need to have a lot of good tough fight wins before UNC pushes that rectangle.
Nice damage on Lect, but the heals are going to be there, and Lect's going to survive as UNC is going to clean up the rest. Minchai gets a pick onto Jofus as well as miss on this onto Aerial.
Okay, Zuko comes back on the Widow, managed to get a kill into Snap App. That could be a pretty huge opening, but look at how close that point is to the first objective, first checkpoint. Florida need to make advantage of that. Actually, no, Snap App gets rezzed right up, and then T-Bucks gets copied and destroyed. Which means Florida, this is their last stand right now, and they need some kills immediately. They need a Hail Mary. They do manage to get Lect out of his copy, but unfortunately, Jofus, while demeched from his ult, gets headshot from Minchai. That hurts to see. There is going to be a beat from Florida coming out. Buys them just a little bit of time, but Minchai, you cannot hide from his sight. Ruby gets taken down by Snap, the other sniper of the team. Often understated, but also quite a lot of damage coming out from him. And Jofus, the last person on point. It looks like the Tracer's back as well. Zuko trying to make something happen, but Mercy has pulled out the Glock. And I think that's it. Overwatch Blue takes the series against Florida State College and gets one step closer to those playoff chances.
Yeah, really. Might I say, scary performance from UNC.
I'm terrified.
I'd be quaking in my boots if I was any other team in their division.
This spot is going to give me nightmares. Look at that. Oh my gosh. When's the last time you've seen a Widow play the game? Right? This is insane.
When it's Minchai, I expect a Whale play the game. And not only that, but that spot is a good spot because you can also see the next attacking angle on the next choke point or the next checkpoint there at the end.
It only really works once.
Yeah.
But when it works,
it works really well. So
yeah.
UNC able to clinch out a 3-0 win against FSC in week 5 of their league.
Yeah.
And so really good job from them. They are now moving on to 4-1 as their record. And we'll have another game later this week. Unfortunately, it won't be streamed, but we will be rooting for them in our hearts as they take on their next opponent.
And I have that opponent pulled up, and it is going to be Lords University. Maybe it's best if we miss that one.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I think, the last remaining. Actually, no. Next, they're playing Lords and Kennesaw, which, as you might remember, are the 2 undefeated teams. So honestly, like this is their like boss. You know, this is their boss rush at the end of the season. If they can take some maps off of them and maybe even a match victory, that's how you cinch playoff victory. But unfortunately, it's going to be an uphill battle from here.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult. We're going to be rooting for them the whole time. And not only that, but we do have more Overwatch action today. We are going to watch UNC White also play a match today. That's going to be starting at 8:30. So UNC Blue able to clinch out their victory. We're going to have to hope that UNC White does the same. We're going to be taking a short break while we wait for that game. Short, it's going to be like 30 minutes. But we are going to be back with more Overwatch action. So make sure to tune into that later. We thank you and see you later. friend. Oh, we are not muted. We are unmuted now. Welcome back, my spooky friends. We are moving into our second game of Overwatch
What happened to
for
Ghoulish
today.
Gamers?
Ghoulish Gamer. I don't know. I was trying something out. I was trying something
Okay.
new.
Yeah.
We are going to be going into our second Overwatch game today, which is going to be UNC White versus Clemson Esports. And it's looking like it's going to be a rough match, maybe. UNC White is 0-3, unfortunately. One of those games was due to a schedule conflict, but they are playing in a pretty tough division this year. And so it is looking like it's going to be a tough game for them. But they are looking very confident, very strong in their own right. So we're going to have to see if we can get some good Overwatch again. We did have UNC Blue earlier winning their game, so we're going to have to hope for UNC White to do the same in their game as well.
I think you hit it right on the nail. Clemson University, who is the opponent of this match, of course, they are one of the 2 undefeated teams in UNC White's conference, right alongside their name. I wrote it down. Bellevue, who UNC White has already played and lost to, obviously. But I think this is one of those cases where the standings don't accurately reflect like what's happening in the matches. Because one of them, the last week's match, it was actually quite close. It was a 3-1, I think, eventually. But UNC White put up a really good fight, and then there was obviously the forfeit. So
yeah.
Hopefully it's up from here. At least they have 2 more games to play after they play Clemson, and it's looking like those 2 are going to be at least like maybe a little bit easier. Maybe I don't want to jinx it, like who knows? Maybe they'll pull out a victory on this one. You never know until it happens, and that's why we are here in beautiful Oasis. It's not Lijiang this time.
Yeah, so it's not Lijiang, and sadly we are only going to get one perspective, as Clemson has requested that we don't see their perspective this game. We're only going to get UNC White's perspective. Just something that happens, it's happened in Valorant before, and obviously we're respectful and are going to adhere to their wishes.
Also, if you hear me chewing my chips, no, you don't.
Mother's work is never done.
They're done anyway. I finished my chips. Hey, a caster's got to eat,
Come in.
Yeah, we do have to
It's been a
eat.
long day.
So if you want to
I've been
help
in the
us,
studio for 12 hours.
oh my God, that's a long time.
That's not true. That's not true. I've been here for like 2 hours. Anyway, team comps, we're just gonna have to glean the usual way just by looking at them. We have Sean mimicking Mist from earlier from UNC Blue by playing the Zarya. Still a very powerful tank, even despite the balance changes. And in a reversal of fates, it's actually going to be Clemson who rolls out on the Pharah. We'll have to see if a Mercy is attached to her, but this is exactly the strategy that got UNC Blue so many fight wins. So, yep, there is the Mercy. So let's see if Clemson is up to snuff as well. You also didn't hear that cough.
It's going to be a Zarya matchup, and similar to FSC
really
earlier.
Out of position.
They're going to be playing the Kiriko, but it's not going to save Ocean. And now UNC is going to be trying to reclaim the point as, or no, it's actually UNC. Okay, so UNC is going to be trying to reclaim the point, and they are going to successfully reclaim the point as Clemson was able to claim 11% on their first take.
Yes, it is a little confusing. Maybe a note for production. It's because UNC is blue in terms of player outlines, but red in the overlay. Just in case y'all were wondering. It was a very curious positioning from Clemson's Zarya Ocean, which led to them losing that first fight, but unfortunately, they roll right back in. Toffee picks up 2 cleanup kills, and it's like that first fight never happened.
Yeah, though we are going to be now back to even percents. So it's looking good for both teams, honestly, and especially for something that we might have not expected UNC to do so well on. They're looking pretty dominant here. We are going to see Coralligator switch onto that McCree, but unfortunately Jiff is going to get picked off by Toffee before this fight even starts in a big ult.
Toffee wants to show Lect how it's done. Pulls out a 3K just like Mist also, Lect also got a 3K on the first map of the last series.
Yeah, so maybe
history is repeating itself, except this time it is UNC White on the topping block. Good news is they didn't waste any ults. they should have some coming up to try to wrestle back control of the point. But they just have to not get picked off early by the Pharah.
Yeah, so they are going to push through this chokehold right here and try and take this high ground.
I like this.
Nice speed boost. Oh, and a nice headshot. Kiriko is going to get down,
no!
but the boop! Oh my goodness, a 3-man boop, and the last punch onto Sean to finish it up. A 4K again for Toffee. That's his second 4K, and what a nice boop on the high ground there.
Yeah, I mean, 2 fights, 8 kills. You really can't ask for more from your DPS than that.
Yeah, really nice cleanup, and that's the danger of playing on that high ground against a Pharah is you do have to watch out for those
Absolutely.
boops. UNC is going to pull out their own
There we go.
Pharah Mercy, and Toffee's going to be the first one to go down now. We're going to have to see if UNC can come and clean up here.
That's Spasmatism putting in some work, managing to laser down that Pharah, but hello, Bugman. Zafar is not the only DPS on Clemson Orange. Bugman pulls out a nice 3-clay with the overclock, and as overtime ticks down, Spasmatism throws out a nice hello. They didn't even use the grab. Not a single grab used in that round. I think that was just all the Pharah show.
I agree. It was
the Toffee show.
A really good performance from Toffee, and UNC needs to find how to counter this Pharah. They tried to switch to their own Pharah Mercy as well as a soldier there later on.
The soldier seemed effective, at least for the one fight that we had it.
Yeah, getting Toffee down in that first fight was really good. Clearly, by that time, Clemson did have a little bit better ult charge for that fight, and were able to clean it up even without Toffee. But again, it was a good performance, as we are going to see the Cassidy come out here again from Spasmatism.
Now, I would love to, if a producer could press tab so we could look at the enemy team's names real quick. We do have Oceans, of course. Bugman and Toffee have been in the kill feed, but Green Knight and Camo Killer, Camo Henry, you better watch out, because I think they're after you. But they're going to be following up once again on the Pharah Mercy. This time playing Kiriko as well. That's fun. Now, no kills quite yet. No early picks. It's actually Kralligator who gets a kill onto the enemy Mercy, and that's the Pharah Mercy shot out of the air. Very well done there from UNC. They're adapting. I think they know Clemson's tricks, so they're trying to counter it as best as they can. And that's going to lead to their first control.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if UNC is able to clean up the rest of these Clemson players. They're going to get, UNC is going to cap a point and start racking up the percent, but they didn't get any exit kills, so now Clemson is going to be all together and trying to recontest this point, pushing in with this highly charged Zarya.
Right, and Clemson got to keep their Zarya charge too, which is huge. They push quite aggressively, and it takes out Kralligator and Psychic from the sky. Sean falls soon after. Unfortunately, didn't have any bubbles to save himself. And just like the first point, it's going to be a very short-lived victory for UNC. A little bit of cleanup kills there, as you do. Now,
oh, it was so close. Almost had that Sojourn.
So close.
But obviously Sojourn with that maneuverability.
Now, Kralligator does have the barrage up. I have to imagine Toffee doesn't quite have it yet because of the early death, but it's going to be barrage versus barrage soon. Let's see if Kralligator can make even as close to as good of a use as Toffee did in that last point.
Yeah,
I mean, after all, Kralligator is known for his playing of explosive heroes, but typically it's the other one, Junkrat. And a well-timed bubble from Ocean saves Toffee from a direct hit, and it's yet another 4K. Are you seeing this, Henry?
I am seeing this, and I am quite amazed. Toffee, 22-2 right now. Really.
22-2. Oh my goodness.
I don't want to say he's carrying the team, because obviously it is a team game, and the rest of his team is.
It is a team, and you know how we know it's a team game? Because as soon as Toffee used that ult, he got a Zarya bubble and a Mercy damage boost. That's 3 out of 5 players contributing to that ult. So really, it's a team effort. But you know, most of the time.
Oh, can he get the Pharah
nice
diff?
direct. Only one though. Unfortunately, need a lot more than that to take care of a Pharah Mercy. Kralligator also does still have the barrage, which is going to be a slight advantage here. Meanwhile, in the background, actually on the point, Camo Killer is going to be the first to draw blood. Ocean's also taking out Sean, unfortunately, with a Psychic up in the sky, trying to take care of their Pharah pocket. That kind of leaves Sean out to dry, and it's going to be Oceans who gets the better of this one.
Yeah, it's kind of funny watching the Pharah duel. Oh, and Sean dropping low there. Going to have to get healed up as he pushes in. Hopefully has a Zarya or a grab. Oh, and Sean is going to though I'm not quite sure. It is going to be the last percent.
Surely
UNC
by
is
now.
going to have to
Just
touch here.
jumps in,
Ooh,
not able to press Q. Gets taken down that quickly. And with that, Clemson Orange takes the first map of the series. That is a big firework. Hey, they're color coordinated. They're wearing orange. Oh, because they're Clemson Orange!
yes, that makes sense.
That
Wow.
just flew. Oh, look at this. Lovely.
The perils of playing
see
against
that.
Farah on the high ground.
Yeah. I mean, I think Clemson did a really good job holding onto that high ground with an iron grip. Honestly, on that map, UNC never got on the high ground.
Yeah.
And that's no fault of their own.
I think they were chasing those exit kills and weren't able to really secure it. But in chasing those exit kills, obviously they didn't really have time to set up their own defense. And so I think that really spelled their demise. And obviously Clemson Orange played really well, played out of their mind. Toffee getting a lot of picks on that Farah.
Yeah, no kidding.
But we did see some glimpse of hope for UNC. I think they played, had a couple good team fights, especially at the beginning of each round. And definitely, they didn't get completely stomped. It wasn't 100-0 each time. So definitely glimpses of hope for UNC White as they will be moving on to the next map with a 0-1 deficit now moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. When Toffee got a little lazy with his positioning, UNC took him down.
Yeah.
It happened only twice, but
It so happened.
if you keep doing that enough, then that's how you start a reverse sweep, maybe.
Yeah.
Or it's not a reverse sweep yet, but a comeback, certainly. It is going to be UNC picking next, so I'm wondering what the strategy is here, right? Let me pull up the map list again, which I have because I am a prepared caster. It's going to be Eichenwald, Kings Row, or Paris, so...
Last time we did see a Kings Row.
It's going to be Kings Row again? That's what I'm
Yes.
hearing? Okay.
So
Fair
we
enough.
saw this last time on UNC, last time we streamed Overwatch White, and they were looking pretty comfortable on Scrims Row. Though I would agree that a lot of teams look confident on this map, and so I wouldn't doubt that Clemson Orange has spent some time practicing this map, and we're going to have to see which team is a little bit more comfortable on it.
I wonder what UNC's kind of like strategy is for this in terms of team composition.
Yeah.
Because in Oasis, their team composition was basically whatever will kill the Farah.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
they had to adapt their whole playstyle to it. But now that they're kind of have this, they have the map choice. That's a small advantage. Let's see what they roll out on. It
Yeah.
might still be the anti-Farah comp. That might be the right play. But I'm just interested in seeing, what they got cooking.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be definitely interesting to see what Sean plays on this map because earlier we saw the Diva pick from both teams, UNC Blue as well as FSC. So going to have to see if our two tanks on each team choose to go for that Zarya pick that we saw in the first map, or if they're going to choose to go something like Diva or Monkey as well. And so it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be watching out for those two tank players to see what they pick, especially trying to maybe counter that Farah or other DPS players. So it's going to be interesting as we move into this next map.
Totally. Well, here we are. It's nice and sunny. It's Overwatch 2. It's finally, 12 hours have passed, and it is now daytime. In Kings Row. Whew. I don't have COVID, I swear. I've just been eating food. I always have to cough after eating food. Is that bad? Should I see a doctor about that?
I don't know.
Like, whenever I drink or eat, my throat feels stuffy, and I gotta cough.
WebMD might say that it's cancer, so
Okay,
might have to be on the safe side,
This work is never done.
I'll take care of it. I'll figure it out. So I do hear an Ana coming out. So it looks like they're not immediately going out on the Pharmacy. I do see, who is that on the Genji?
Spasmatism
yeah.
on the Genji as well as Coraligator on the Widow. Something I don't think we
Oh my
typically
gosh.
see. We see sometimes though.
Yeah, let's see it.
Definitely a special.
Oh no, he swapped off to Junkrat. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, his specialty, the what is it? The Chris Junkrat, you know. And it's also going to be the Monkey, like you said. They are definitely switching it up for this one. Possibly falling back onto comfort picks, and I'm just saying that because I see the Genji and the Junkrat, not necessarily like a unit you usually see together, but individually can make huge plays.
Yeah.
Sean, very wise to not take much damage, staying out of range of that Zarya beam until his team is ready to engage. It looks like it's going to be now, jumping into the back, dropping that bubble, but it gets broken immediately by the Pharmacy from above. The heals are on Sean 24/7, but it's still not enough. Goes a little bit too deep. Isn't able, UNC just isn't able to make advantage of that advantage, and it's going to be Clemson who finds the kills first.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice team wipe from Clemson as they're going to defend this first point. And this first push from UNC.
I gotta say, Coraligator has got to swap off, right? Because, I mean, if you're like #1 NA Junkrat, you can like do some crazy plays to jump up and kill the Pharah with your mines. But, you know, typically you think of Pharah as a hard counter to Junkrat.
Yeah.
I do see them swapping to Reinhardt, which is very interesting. It's, Reinhardt hasn't been good, but maybe he's good now. I have no clue. We'll have to see. Going to the hotel, love to see that. But Toffee, once again, with that early barrage, UNC just doesn't see it coming. It's going to be another nice little 3K for the DPS player.
Yeah, Toffee picking up 3 allows his team to clean up the rest. And another clean team wipe from Clemson. Even the switch onto Ryan just isn't going to allow them to push into hotel quickly, as Toffee is able to just swing around from the other side and pressure them. So they're getting pressured from all sides. And already, again, Toffee picking off the first kill onto Spasmatism. It's going to be looking like a uphill battle, as UNC is still going to try and push into this. They are
Sean's getting some good swings off, but unfortunately, it's kind of going to be trash damage. You know, the kind of damage that doesn't result in any kills. Just kind of feeds a ult charge. But unfortunately, when you're a player down like that, pretty tough to mount an attack. Oh, and Spasm goes down once again. This poor man's not allowed to play the game.
Ooh, and UNC just getting spawn camp now. This isn't looking too good.
I do see them swapping to hit scan.
Yeah, so they are counter picking onto that McCree.
Oh, never mind. Spasm has swapped off of DPS back onto Genji. It's going to be a overclock. It's going to go right through Ryan's shield, so UNC have got to be careful right now, stay behind cover. But it winds down. No one is dead. Jiff is very low, but knocked out. Yet 1 HP from Jiff. The absolute guts of this man to not nade himself. Instead, peeks around the corner and dies. But at least he gets the Reinhardt, the nano boost, I believe. I heard a shatter go down, but we it's going to be actually a res coming out for Green Knight. First res of the game, back onto Toffee, and now he can just go back on his killing spree.
Yeah, so Coraligator was able to pick off Toffee there, kind of midway through the fight. Very nice kill, but obviously with that res, and the rest of Clemson picking off UNC, the res is going to come out, and Toffee's going to be right back there in the fight for the next fight. Nice push from UNC. They're going to get on this objective.
20 seconds left, Henry. And once again, a nice comment from Toffee with Spasmatism. Reflect those rockets right back at him. Says, here, catch. And also gets another kill at the Camel Killer, 99. I guess you could call it the Camel Killer Killer. It's looking good for UNC. This is their last chance at getting the point, and they've gotten most of the team already. It's just going to be one Sojourn, Bugman, just sliding right onto the point. And I can't believe it. UNC has finally mustered a push and taken the first point. Unless, I don't know, there's a few seconds left that they could contest, but I don't see that happening.
Doesn't look like they're going to contest. And UNC is going to add another 2.5 minutes on their clock as they capture the first point. And they're going to start moving the payload towards the next checkpoint.
There is hope. And you know what? that clutch deflect onto the Pharah, that really opened up the fight for them. That's like the 3rd time Toffee's died. And each time Toffee dies, it's like, this is our chance. We can win a fight now. Yeah,
and unfortunately, just in the middle of those team fights, the Mercy on Clemson just isn't able to find those reses on the Toffee, and so
Toffee was pretty deep.
ooh, a nice Deadeye.
First Deadeye doesn't get anyone, but the Shatter is there. Protection Suzu gets them right off the ground, and that's actually Qualigator who goes down first. A little bit too aggressive. Huge play there from the Kiriko, and Toffee has yet another barrage in the very next team fight. This time does not get punished for it. Takes down Jiv, takes down Sean, and we are right back to square one. Not quite, but we're on square two.
Ooh, and already getting pressured in their spawn again. That's going to be 2 ults from UNC that don't really get any value, whereas the barrage from Clemson, from Toffee, is going to get insane value and hold the payload at this
That's the
choke
power
point.
of Kiriko, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Shattered Ocean. Kiriko's like, no problem. It picks her right back up. A very nice disruptor shot, forcing Sean forward maybe a bit faster than he wanted to. That just doesn't manages to kill Camel Killer at least, so that's a little bit less healing for Clemson, but unfortunately not a lot of backup left for UNC White. Spasmatism caught in no man's land. Sean the last Bastion standing, but not literally playing Bastion. Well, Henry, it's back down to 40 seconds. It's looking like last fight territory once again, and UNC's going to need another miracle if they want to get second point.
Yeah, they were able to pick off the Mercy there, so maybe the Mercy will have a little bit of a longer spawn.
I don't think so. I think she's back by now.
Not be in the fight, but Mercy is going to be back, and it's going to be another 5v5 situation. Clemson is playing a little bit more reserved, a little farther back, giving UNC a little bit of space, but they are playing the next choke in the next corner. So it's going to be looking quite promising for them. We are going to have a Blade from UNC.
Yeah, we haven't got to see him Blade yet, so let's see if he can do anything with his ultimate. At the moment, doesn't look like we need it. Actually, Camel Killer, once again, falling early in the fight due to a nice body shot from Qualigator. A very nice Immortality Field. It protects UNC from around the corner. Good pick up there from Jiv, and UNC holding their own. There's the barrage. I told you to watch out for that Pharah. Henry, they didn't watch out for the Pharah.
Yeah, it seems like an age-old story at this point. Toffee just getting so many kills, gets another 3K, and that's going to be the push from UNC. As now they are going to be on the pressured side, having to defend that payload. Obviously, very good job. They get the cap and they get 91 meters, which is nothing to scuff at, especially against such a strong team like Clemson.
Yeah. I mean, when you're getting spawn capped on King's Row like that, happens more often than you think.
Yeah.
It's really easy to just keep getting spawn capped. But UNC didn't do that. They kept switching heroes. They kept switching strategies. First they went through Hotel, then they went around Statue, and eventually they found something that worked. And you know, I think that kind of resilience is what you need when you're up against odds like this.
Yeah, it's really a game of attrition. Who can last longer? Attrition, not attrition. I don't know what I'm saying, but game of attrition and who can last longer. And in the end, maybe Clemson lasted a little longer. They got the hole there before UNC was able to make it to the first checkpoint. But UNC.
Hey, can we shout out Jiff 7,600 healing?
Oh my goodness! And it's not even. It's halfway through the game. Probably
yeah,
gonna make at least 14, if not 15.
He's doing everything he can to keep everyone alive.
Yeah, and so we
Unfortunately, if you look at the elimination numbers, it's a little bit lopsided, perhaps, especially on the Bugman and. I mean, we haven't been talking about Bugman that much, but Bugman has almost as many eliminations as Toffee, so the DPS lineup of this team is nothing to scoff at for sure. All right, it's actually going to be Sean rolling out on the D.Va. Not sure about this pick, because typically you think of Zarya as countering D.Va because she cannot eat up the laser using her defense matrix. And yeah, just like that, Sean is quite low, has to back up. Ocean's still at full health. Bugman also finding a lovely snipe onto cycling the backline, takes out Sean as well. Maybe a foregone conclusion, given that he was out of mech. And now the races are on to get back to spawn.
Yeah, as Toffee's going to chase him back. I'm going to pick up at least 2, if not more. I think what the UNC is going for is maybe the D.Va Matrix to eat up not only grabs, but also barrages as well. And so while, yes, Zarya is typically a counter to D.Va,
Zarya's not their main problem.
Yeah.
So I can't blame them at the moment.
The main problem maybe is Toffee on the...
All right, actually, Ocean's getting quite low, gets pressured down by Sean, but fortunately, Sean pays for it with his mech and his life. And now we're left without a tank. It looks like UNC is just going to have a repeat of the last team fight. There's Psychic being beamed down again. Kind of feels like deja vu now. But at least the others seem to be alive so far. Actually, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to jinx it. I think UNC have like maybe one more good touch, maybe two. And they're starting to develop ultimate now, so it could be pretty big. They'll have Nano Blade soon. We haven't seen a lot of activity from Blades this series, so I mean, it could be fun if we get a nice... That's Spasmatism on Genji, right?
Yeah.
All right, he's jumping in there, getting healed up by Jiff from a distance. Aim is unerring. Unfortunately, has to reload, and Spasmatism dies during the reload. Hate to see that. Bugman, actually the star of the show this time, gets a nice 3K. Has picked off Psychic 3 fights in a row. And, of course, Toppy finishes it off with a concussive blast. I think UNC might be able to touch. Maybe not, actually. Sean's the first one to respawn, and unfortunately he is quite far from the point. And that is going to be a 3-0 victory for Clemson Orange. Wait, no, sorry, 2-0. A 2-0 victory.
They're up.
A 2-0, not quite a victory.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
We got still
I'm getting ahead of
some
myself.
more chance, you know, for UNC. As we still have game audio, but we are going to...
You just imagine it in your head. There's a lot of railguns happening.
Pew, pew, pew,
Because of
pew,
that.
pew.
Yeah. Here, I'll be the victim. Ah.
Pew, 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 pew.
I'm dead.
That is what Sojourn does, and obviously what Clemson does as well, is to do a lot of shooting and a lot of killing.
And they do it very well.
Yeah, that is very true.
My cord is tangled.
Unfortunately, UNC is going to lose their second map to Clemson. But again, I think they show hope. They're playing really well and playing really resiliently.
Yeah.
They're staying in these games. They're not getting demoralized by.
I think that's the word of the day. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not getting demoralized by these defenses and offenses from Clemson. They're playing their game. They're sticking to it, and they're making some progress. I mean, we saw them move the cart 91 meters. They were able to get a couple
of
clean
meters.
kills. Yeah,
That's probably more meters than I could run in real life.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of meters. But obviously they do lose that map, so a little sad. But we are going to be moving into game 3, or map 3, I should say. And what game mode is that going to be?
Escort. You know what's really sad is that if UNC gets 3-0'd, then we're not going to see any push today.
That's
we didn't see push with UNC Blue because they 3-0'd, and if this one also 3-0's, and push is the 4th game mode. So that's really sad because push is fun, and it's like the new. I mean, people they can't like default to their age-old picks anymore on push because there are no old picks; they're all new. Even Esperanto. Honestly, I have not played a game on Esperanto yet.
Really?
Yeah, I just haven't rolled it in queue.
Yeah.
Like ever. So I don't even know the map. I know what it looks like, but I don't know the geography or anything. It would be really interesting to see, collegiate level teams go at it. Especially like, I mean, Clemson's, they must be like a Grandmasters level team. Masters at least.
I agree.
Yeah, the level of play in this division, which is Open Premier, possibly was maybe a clerical error.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a big deal. The point is, this is a really high tier division. Like these are not like the JVs and the 3rd and 4th teams. These are like the number 1 teams from each school. So Clemson Orange is the best team at Clemson.
Yes.
And that's what
but I believe
UNC White is playing against.
This specific division is made for teams that aren't necessarily associated with NACE directly.
That's right.
So that's why this is the why these teams aren't necessarily playing with like our blue team.
Yeah. So that's the only reason. So this isn't like Open Premier is not like the easier division. It's just the division that's not officially associated with NACE.
Yeah.
Because you have to pay like an annual fee to be a NACE member.
Yeah.
And like have some other requirements that I don't really know anything about. Yeah. Point of case, it's a tough world out there. A real fish eat fish world. A real railgun sojourn world.
Yeah.
We are going to Junkertown. All right.
So definitely an interesting map. I'm gonna be watching out. Obviously, I think Toffee can still be playing on that
I
Farah
think Toffee
on
can play
this.
far on any map.
Yeah, on any map, but I think specifically on this map, it's a decent Farah map. And I know that Coralligator may like to play Junkrat on this map because Junkertown, Junkrat. But might have to see like maybe a Widow or a Hanzo or something
Yeah,
that
if they have
can
the
snipe the.
if they have the hero pool, a good sniper could absolutely be a counter to Toffee's Widow. Sorry, Toffee's Farah. Because honestly, I don't know if I'd like to play Farah on this map. I'm not really like a map pick expert.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's meta on each of these maps. But the first half of Junkertown is so wide open. There's not a lot of places where Farah can break line of sight. She has to like hide behind a building, and the buildings are all very low, so she has to stay low, which means she can't get as much work done. And then the second and third points are kind of cramped. There's a lot of small corridors you got to go through, and like second point maybe is pretty good for Farah.
Definitely.
I
not
don't think third point is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is a strategic pick from UNC, at least if my analysis is correct, which there's no guarantee of that. And I'm excited to see what happens. Hey, we see Coralligator hopping back onto the Widow.
Yeah, hopefully. It could just be for intel gathering. But I definitely think that if he feels confident on it, that it could be a good pickup for them.
Totally.
I think Widows generally tend to do pretty well on this map, so it's going to be interesting. UNC White is going to be on.
Oh, hello.
attacking
Did I just see a
first.
Widow pop up above that building?
I'm physically trying to look over this window to
That's
try.
not how it works,
It's
Henry.
not going to work, but we are going to see very shortly. It looks like we are going to have a Sojourn on the other team.
And they give that one away pretty quickly.
Lucio and
Oh, is that an?
I think
Oh,
I
that's
did
just
see a
Sojourn.
Widow shot, and we are going to see an Orisa.
I thought it was an Orisa. Okay. I was like, I don't recognize those bullets. Is that Orisa? But I didn't want to say anything. Toffee actually rolling out
no.
on the Widow.
No, it's not an Orisa. It's,
Oh, it's not?
Sigma.
Oh, you got
I was looking
hyped
at
for
the
nothing.
Sojourn bullets.
Oh, I see. Yeah, those are definitely Sojourn bullets. But yeah, Toffee not on the Farah, just as we predicted, actually playing the Widow. So we have a bit of a Widow v Widow duel. Toffee currently up 1 in terms of picks. Let's see if Coralligator can answer back, assuming he's still on Widow. Spasmatism, meanwhile, has switched to Genji. I think that makes sense. Genji is better against Widow, while maybe not so good against Farah. And UNC, at the very least, have managed to get them off of that first high ground. He's pushing onto point. Unfortunately, Camo Killer actually is the sniper for this one. I mean, a headshot from Camo Killer does like 120 damage, and Widow only has like 175 HP. So yeah, you have to watch out for those kunai as well. And with those opening picks, it's going to be Clemson taking control of the point once more.
Yeah, so UNC is able to push it a little bit, but unfortunately that's just going to be pushing it towards the choke. So a lot of teams will allow the attacking team to push it to this position as it puts them in a kind of choke position, and kind of hard to see this high ground. Ooh, Toffee getting a nice pick onto Jeff.
Oh my gosh, Toffee got that pick right before Sean jumped on him. Well timed indeed, and Bugman also following up. Which means Sean, despite his best efforts, probably not going to win that one. Clean reset for UNC. Actually, Coralligator still looking for a pick. Gets pressured out, unfortunately. A lot of spam going down those sidelines right now. Especially with the Sigma shield, too, right? Like, I mean, if you're Coralligator, you're trying to get through a shield to get a pick onto enemy squishies, and you yourself don't have a shield. That's just a major disadvantage.
Yeah. Definitely is, as Toffee is able to pick up another one on his back.
Oh, look at that. The Sigma shield protecting Toffee. Oh, what is this? Bugman jumps all the way in. Tries to deal with Coralligator, but he manages to escape unscathed. Goes in, and there we go. A nice flank from our boy. Unfortunately, Bugman answers back. Hey, guess what? I can also one-shot with a headshot. And that's going to be a net neutral for both teams. At the very least, there's one less ult for Bugman. And actually, Bugman ends up very out of position. No power slide to get himself out of trouble, and Spasma doesn't manage to pick him off. Now, it is going to be the enemy team using that Infrasight, which means that UNC is going to be very afraid for their heads right now. And guess what? There's also a tank player.
Won't get the sleep onto the Sigma, but Transcendence is going to come out for this, as well as Kiriko's ult.
Yeah, it could be huge, but right now we're just looking for Crowligator, trying to find a pick. He does have to emphasize up, but no one is peeking his sight line. In the meanwhile, his team is struggling. Psychic goes down. Crowligator finally finds that pick onto Toffee. That's 2 in a row. Let's go. Unfortunately, just like last time, Bugman, I feel like we're in a time loop. Bugman takes that Crowligator once again. It's going to be a bit of a Pyrrhic victory for UNC here. Doesn't look like they're going to get the point.
Yes, they are going to push it a little bit farther, but again,
20
Clemson
seconds
is
left
able
too.
to come back and defend once again, as we're going to have to see if UNC is going to...
Nice pick there. Crowligator finally warmed up, coming onto his own. Couple more picks like that, and UNC is as good as gotten the first point. Sean making space, jumping in, trying to distract them. And Jeff working overtime, just trying to keep him alive. Managed to build up the what's it called, nano boost from all the healing he just did. But unfortunately, Toffee is back and he's raining havoc once more from that high ground. Jeff making a bit of a scary rotation. Is he able to live? Yes, and he uses that nade to stay alive for just a little bit longer. Despotism, yes, gets that visor up just in time to pick off the last few people. Sean is still alive, on the point, and healthy. And can you believe it, Henry? They pulled up yet another miraculous point. What the heck?
What a play. And honestly, I don't want to... I'm not even going to give an MVP during this fight. I was going to say Crowligator's opening picks often gave him the
They were
leeway.
huge.
They were kind of huge, but then you look at Jiff giving the heals, giving so much heals to keep his team alive, and then Sean also diving in, getting some nice
Toffee's on
picks and
Reaper
taking
now.
damage.
Yeah, actually, Crowligator should switch off. Widow is very bad on second point, which explains why Toffee has changed. But Bugman still doing the sniper work, actually gets 2 kills there onto both Magnetism and Psychic. Well, you know what? This is actually good because it gives Crowligator a chance to switch.
That is true.
Assuming he is of the same mindset of me.
Mindset as you, as well as Toffee. Obviously, we saw Toffee switch off.
Yeah, they're now on double hit scan. It worked for them against the FAR, so let's see if they can... I mean, Crowligator already got his A warmed up, so... yeah, I'm expecting big things from Miss Cassidy. Oh no, the Disruptor shot from Bugman perfectly placed to catch Psychic right in the middle of it. That's going to delay UNC's push for a lot of very precious seconds.
Yeah, Clemson is playing this high ground very smartly, and isn't going to make it easy for UNC to attack here, as they do need to contest this high ground. Nice bubble.
Block.
Sean does have his ult to contest here.
Oh,
there's
I
gonna
see
be
a flanking
Reaper
Reaper.
from the behind. It's going to kill Spasm.
All right. The good news about Reaper is that at the very least, if you see him coming, you can do something about it. It's actually going to be Psychic coming up huge with the Transcendence, giving his team an opening into, their team an opening into the team fight. It's going to be a nice 2K to follow up to that. And that is why you use a tempo ult. A tempo ult meaning when you use a defensive ult, even when you're not taking damage, just to give your team an advantage in the team fight.
Yeah, really good ult there. And it allows UNC to take this advantageous positioning, and are now going to be trying to defend their point, as Clemson is going to be trying to retake it and stop UNC from getting this second checkpoint.
It's do or die for both teams, actually, because UNC only has 5 seconds, so they're going into overtime, but Clemson has to rush to get onto point, maybe not all the way prepared. There is the Sigma ult, Gravitic Flux, which kills Jiff in the backline. Toffee also throws in that Death Blossom, takes out Crowligator. Now it's a 4v3 in favor of Clemson, but Toffee is still doing work. This man can play any hero. Sean pops that Primal Rage to the last possible second to try to keep overtime ticking for as long as he can, but he has 5 people shooting at him now. Unfortunately, they also have a beat, so yeah, very little chance for Sean to do anything there, and that is going to be the end of UNC's push.
That is the end of UNC's push, but it was really good. They got some
good,
really
yeah.
critical team fights at some crucial times, and allowed them to push it 80 meters, and it's gonna right in front of the second checkpoint. Unfortunately, that they weren't able to get that last checkpoint to extend their time, extend their push. But it is a considerable amount of distance, and we're gonna have to see if Clemson is able to push it an equal amount.
I gotta say, I think this was the right map pick. I don't say
agree.
this a lot. I'm often very critical of map picks in NACE Star League, but they got Toffee to stop playing Pharah, and I feel like immediately he was less of an oppressive presence. Like, he was still getting picks on the Widow, he was still doing work on the Reaper, but it's not like 22-2 anymore. Right now it's 10-4. So
Yeah, I agree. And Coralligator on his Widow was able to.
oh, hello! The Junkrat is back. Exciting. I'm a little scared now. But, you know, let's see it. You know, Coralligator's been popping off this whole game. Let's see if he can do it on Junkrat as well.
Yeah, so obviously Coralligator had a really good presence on that Widow in the first, on the attack for this map. We're going to have to see if he has that same presence on his classic Junkrat.
I'm also seeing Sean rolling out on the Sigma, maybe taking a note from, Ocean's. Huh, Ocean and Sean. That's very interesting. Anyway, taking a leaf from Ocean's playbook, and look at that, Toffee takes out Coralligator. That is the risk you run when you run a Junkrat against a Widow. Often the best counter to Widow is just another Widow. Now UNC still have a chance. They're missing a DPS, but they still have a fully formed team. Still have their tanks, still have their 2 supports. Spasmatism goes quite low, and Bugman is able to dash in, finish him off. Not a great look for UNC. They might be giving up the first point at this point because Clemson has gotten a lot of card progress already.
Yeah, Sean is also dropping really low. Does get the nade from Ana, but with that reload from Jeff, he's going to eventually fall and not get the heals that he needs. And that's going to be a very good team wipe from
the nail in the
Clemson.
coffin of first point, I would say. Because that team fight took so long that UNC's not going to have a chance to recontest.
Yeah, so now they're going to have to play this high ground. They do switch over. Sean does switch over to the counter Zarya. But, ooh, look at this. Coralligator's going to get a long spawn. They're going to have to try and run back. This team is set up on the high ground, fortunately. So, a very good position for UNC defensively. We are going to see the sights from Toffee. We're going to have to watch our heads for that.
Yeah, this will be good as long as they can watch their heads. For the moment, though, it's seeming pretty tame, actually. They might just wait out the 14 seconds, and I spoke way too soon. Jiff gets taken out in the tail end of that infra site. That's going to leave UNC White without a main healer, and there's not that much progress left to go on that card. Sean does his best to take out that Lucio, but not a chance. There's 2 defensive abilities in his way. Bugman picking up the Slag, gets a 3K, and I think that might be all she wrote. UNC has just barely spawned. There's Jiv running back towards point, but he's certainly not going to make it in time. A Blade for Nut, and that is going to be Clemson taking the series 3-0. Honestly, what a show.
Yeah, I keep saying this. Clemson obviously played a really insane game. Both Bugman and Toffee getting a lot of important kills, playing really well. But I do believe that UNC was playing very well. They obviously were able to an extent, stop this team. I don't think that Clemson was playing. We're given free reign of this game. UNC held them in check.
Yeah, UNC was a thorn in their side.
Yeah, and was didn't allow them to cleanly 3-0 them. It was more of
a messy 3-0. Messy 3-0, absolutely.
Exactly.
I mean, having played, I played on this team 5 years ago. No, not 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I played on this team 4 years ago, and let me tell you, if we played a team that was like 200 or 300 average SR above us, like, we got smashed.
Yeah.
But UNC White, I don't know exactly what their SR is.
I think it's 2.5K.
2.5K
is what
and that would be like high plat, low diamond. So we got a high plat, low diamond team in a league with literally like a contenders level team in it. Not this one necessarily, but certainly Masters and Grandmasters teams. And honestly, they've been dealt a hard hand, and they're playing the cards they've been dealt.
Yeah. They're playing really well. Obviously, unfortunately, they are going to now have a 0-4 record.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's representative of their skill.
I mean, they can still go like 2-4.
Yeah.
Like I said, the last 2 maps are like, they're also, the last 2 teams that we're going to play are also kind of struggling.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can at least assert your dominance in the lower levels of
Yep.
play.
Gonna have to wait and see for that. That's gonna be they're gonna be playing a game later this week on Thursday. Unfortunately, that won't be streamed as well as the other UNC Blue game. We are gonna be streaming League of Legends then, and they're also gonna have a game next week. So be watching out for those games. Keep updated and keep posted with our teams. As for other games this week, we're gonna have a bunch. We have a bunch in the docks. We are having a spooky themed stream. If you haven't already noticed, we're dressed up here in the studio.
This is actually just my Tuesday fit.
Yeah, and I have to go prep for church, so that's why I'm looking like a priest.
Show them the holy water.
Oh yeah, I got my holy water.
And I got my Pepsi.
Yeah. But we do have a full docket for this week. We had Overwatch Blue and Overwatch White today. Tomorrow we're gonna have UNC Valorant playing against Bryant and Stratton College. That's gonna be at 7 p.m. That's going to be on stream, as well as UNC Varsity Lowell. They had their game today as well. I don't know how it went. Hopefully they won their game today, but we also have a game on Thursday, which will be streamed against Oakland University, so stay in tune for that. And lastly, we have CSGO at 9:30 on Friday against University of Toronto. I have a friend at University of Toronto, so I'm going to rub it in his face when we win that game.
Nice.
But make sure to watch that as well. That's it for this week. Then obviously we have Halloween on Monday, so
Happy Halloween. Go
yeah.
play some, what is it? Junkenstein's Bride or
Revenge of the Bride.
Bride's
Bride's
producer,
Revenge.
can we get on that?
Wrath of the
Junkenstein's
Bride.
Revenge, Wrath of the Bride,
Right.
or as I like to call it, The Revenge of Junkenstein's Revenge.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, but thanks everyone for tuning in. Do we have any more shout-outs before we close for the day?
No, that's going to be it. Follow UNC on Twitter and Instagram, as well as subscribe on our YouTube channel. Follow if you're not already following to the UNC Twitch page, as we are going to have a lot of content, like I said, and just keep updated. We'll be throwing out some more content, as well as hopefully some giveaways in the future. Keep updated with that. And as for that, have a spooktacular rest of your night and rest of your week.